Welcome back. Hope you've had a good week. You're feeling well. So today we're going to look at forward folds. These are restorative, calming, a pause between poses, but also a necessary pose as well. They can give you a break, time to catch your breath, time to rest the body too. And you can do this once again anytime you need 5 minutes, not just part of a flow or in your class that you're practicing. So today we're going to look at a couple of variations of forward folds and how to use some equipment to help you to get the same results. If you can't get your hands to the ground, which doesn't matter, it is not a competition. Nobody needs to have their hands on the ground and to be able to fold themselves into a perfect 90-degree angle to get exactly what you need. So looking at it, you're going to need a couple of big blocks. If you don't have blocks, a couple of chunky books are perfectly good. And you can use the back of a chair. If you've got a bad back, if your legs are tight, using the back of a chair can still do the job. So, a normal forward fold. So coming from stand, so if we were standing in mountain pose at the beginning, and if we wanted to move or transition into forward fold, what we would do is keep our feet hip width apart so we have a balance. Being unbalanced in a forward fold can be dangerous. You can tip, fall onto a shoulder, hurt yourself, face plant on the floor, never a good look, and definitely not ladylike. So, forward fold, we're going to look into it in a nice, easeful way first. And we want to fold from the hips. If it means being more comfortable for you, I want you to place your thumbs underneath your hip bones. And as you bend, you'll feel the hip crease. And that's where we're folding from. So don't arch the back, don't curve the back so the shoulders become rounded, because we're creating a tightness. And as the forward fold is soft, that's what we're trying to make sure that we keep the entire way through. Softness. So, thumbs on our hip creases, feet hip width apart, and open the toes, spread them like stars so you feel the mat beneath you and you feel balanced. And I want you to very gently take a breath in, and as you breathe out, fold with a soft, straight back. Now as you get further over, if this is difficult, place the hands on the thighs, slide them down. And if this is as far as you can go, that is good enough. You are opening up the hamstrings, stretching the back of the knees, lengthening the calves, and you will feel your feet grounding into the mat. The hamstrings will release along the glutes as well. So if you get tightness along the lower lumbar, if you suffer from any kind of sciatica, this can help. So keeping the thumbs in the hip crease or on the thighs, you can stand here for support so the back isn't taking the strain. Get your blocks and place one underneath each hand in about the same line as the feet, and just place them underneath the shoulders and making sure that they are underneath wrist to shoulder, so we're not leaning forward, we're not hyperextending back. Just keep them in a nice plumb line and just enjoy that forward fold there. And as you're into it, make sure the weight in the feet is balanced. Not too much weight in the front of the toes, or the heels will lift and you'll tip. Not too much in the heels, because then you're hyperextending at the base of the spine as well. And that's how you might curve and not create that strength. And that's what you'll end up doing, is building strength in the lower muscle of the back and in the core. So keeping the hands on the blocks, just enjoy that opening. And once you've got used to this and you feel that it's starting to become slightly easier, let's change the height of the blocks. So we can turn them, place our hands there, keeping the shape in the back once more. Again, This is a nice opener for the legs. And once we've got used to this, we can turn the blocks once again and become even lower. And breathe into this. And as the lower you become, the more comfort you will feel and the opening will be more expansive. So once we've got to this, let's have a look at another alternative. Bending the knees, which you should always do when doing any kind of forward fold that is tighter for yourself. And as we all know, everybody is massively different. So always put something in place to make sure you can get to the point that it's good for you, no one else. Ignore the fancy pictures, ignore people tying themselves in knots. It may look great, but is it rewarding them with anything that they're looking for? So we're going to bend our knees, and in this forward fold, we're also going to show a neck release, which again, restorative, calming, and just really nice. So let's bend our knees, a nice deep bend. Yes, you're going to hear knee cracks. Do not worry. Unless you feel pain, knee cracks are part of life. And again, if you want to slide your knees, hands down your thighs, do that. And then we're just going to rest our chest over our thighs and just enjoy that space. It's the same feeling as a child's pose, but obviously standing. The chest is lying over the thighs. You can now put hands on the floor if you can reach. Once again, you can use a block if that's more comfortable. Your thighs may shake a little bit, but that's okay. That means the muscles are being activated and they're starting to work in a different way. So once we've found that balance and we've found a peace and we can feel comfortable, I want you to interlace your fingers and place them in the ridge, not of the neck, but just above the ridge. Where the base of the skull starts to stick out, the occipital bone here, place the hands there and let the weight of the arms, keeping the elbows bent, drag the neck down. And this can be very calming. The sides of the hands are at the sides of the skull, and just allow them to naturally sit and cradle the rear of your head until you've had enough. Release the hands, and when we're coming out of a forward fold, I want you to very gently curl the back up, vertebrae by vertebrae. You don't jar the spine. The spine is an elastic cord, and if we jar it, it can snap. We need to take care of all the nerves inside it. So looking at one more, we're going to look at intense forward fold. Only try this if any of the ones we've done so far feel easy to you, and you don't have to go all the way. So feet can be hip width apart. If it's more comfortable, they can be together, but go hip width apart to begin with for your own comfort. So with forward fold, intense, again, we're folding from the hip creases. So you can fold naturally from the hip crease, keeping the back nice and straight, and hands can be on the floor or on the shins. And if you've got to this point and you're feeling like you've still got a space to move, allow the body to come towards the thighs, but do not force the body. It will get there in its own time, and if it doesn't matter. So finding your place where you are comfortable to reach. You breathe in and you breathe out, and as you breathe out, the space is created for the forward fold to become perhaps a little closer. Now, as forward folds, they are classed as part of the inversions. Inversions are when our head is below our heart, creating a different circulation. It's fantastic for re-oxygenating the brain and rejuvenating us, perhaps re-energising us as well. However, please do not attempt these if you have a heart condition or you are taking high blood pressure tablets, unless you have spoken to someone that can give you medical advice. Any of those that we have done so far today all need to be advised before you try them. It is not worth pain or illness to try and get your head down by your knees. And if you are advised that it's okay, you can try the chair version. So, let me show you this. So as we were doing forward fold, and we're bending from the hips, we need to imagine we have a chair in front of us, the back of a chair. And as we fold forward, we place our hands on the back of the chair or the seat of the chair, and that is good enough. We're still creating the inversion, but our head is not going past our heart. And that could be just what fits your home practice. Hopefully you will find some accessibility in there for you today. Please take your time, please take care, and be well.